What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So another day working on the I almost said Del Sol, the S2000. So if you watched the last video, we got a bunch of maintenance stuff done. Doge was gracious enough to come by and help me. Ran into a few issues though at the end of the video. Freaking key beeping. Yeah, I ran into an issue at the end of the video though, where I had discovered that I had a short shifter in the car and it would not go back in the same way that it came out. So I had to go and source an OEM one. I found one local and a part out. Guy wasn't getting back to me fast enough, so I just went to my Honda dealership and they were actually able to source me an OEM shifter, because they're discontinued if you don't know, so they're very hard to find. And then I had to buy another one of these little pivot cup things for the bottom of the shifter because mine exploded trying to put it on this big old short shifter. Like, it's not machined the same. So we're gonna rip the center console apart again, try and replace the shifter again, and hopefully it works, because right now it's terrifying to find 6th gear and very hard to get into 5th gear. But if you also notice behind me, there's no Miata. No Miata here, no Miata back there. Got sold last night. I didn't get my asking price for it. I got decently close to it, but I had to get rid of it. It was time. Don't need 2 convertibles, hence the reason why I got rid of the Del Sol when I got the Miata. Same thing, just upgraded from Del Sol to Miata, upgraded from Miata to S2000. This thing is doing really well so far. And I saw a few comments on the last video where I didn't turn the car on after we did the valve train, or valve lash and the freaking timing chain tensioner fix. So I'll fire it up for a quick second for you. I just got home from the dealership, so it's warm. So it does still have a small tick, but it's definitely much quieter than it was. And again, if you guys don't know, if you didn't watch the last video, the timing chain tensioner is down here underneath the VTEC solenoid. It is a known Honda S2000 issue, like the main mechanical flaw with these things. The OEM ones, even now to this day, go bad up to or even before 40,000 miles. Mine, they start just losing pressure, they get polished. The worm gear in there gets polished and it starts slipping. Mine was doing that. We sandblasted it, so let me show you how it's quieted down quite a bit, but still a little ticky. Turn that off so I don't kill my battery. Okay, that actually sounds really good right now. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. I think I still might scoop the Balad Motorsports one right now while I have the extra cheese to have it just in case this one goes bad prematurely again. Doge's has been running on his for 30,000 miles now with his rebuilt, and he's still golden. But just in case I have to swap it out, I want to be able to have it, so I might order that tonight. But let's get into the shifter. So thankfully it's pretty darn easy. I just gotta take off the shift knob, gotta grab a wrench real quick, and then it all just kind of pops up just like this. Just like that. Somewhere. Just intimidating. Yep, almost. Okay, yep, shift knob. Okay, nice and simple. Now I am missing one of the pieces, or 2 of the pieces at the moment. There's normally a big white ring around here. Doge gave me a spare because the other one was broken. And then normally, let me show you. So this shifter doesn't have it in general, being that it's the aftermarket one, but over this silver ring cover area, there's gonna be another dust boot. They don't have them at the dealership. They don't know when they're getting any more, if ever. So that's something that I'm gonna have to find on eBay and try and order. And then I also need some of the more of the insulating foam because mine's all blown out. But I can go ahead and put the shifter in now. I might just get a little bit of heat coming out of the shift console area, which is fine for now. And then I can always just obviously take this boot right back off and then slide the new boot on whenever I get it, and then put that boot back on and call it a day. It'll take 5 minutes whenever I get the part. But now from here, I just gotta take these 3 Allen head screws out and wiggle this thing up.
Now, there we go. So I gotta try and pull this cup off without breaking it. If I break it, then I have to order a new one, which is like another 30 bucks. And then this is already the brand new OEM shift selector spring thingy. And then obviously this is the bottom pivot cup I'm replacing on the new shifter. So thankfully this thing came off, no problem. I don't know if hopefully it's still good. The issue is this piece is machined too large on this one, at least when it comes to this. So this was really hard to get on here, and then when this was actually in the transmission, it did not want to move. But I got this one at my local Honda dealer. Like I said, it's supposed to be discontinued, so if you want to try yours, there's a part number. I know Honda's trying to do the parts catalog thing for the older cars, but some dealers may not participate, but I got lucky, like I said, and found this one. So okay. Oh, it actually has the boot on it, it looks like. So there's the whole assembly. So this thing's good to just pop the caps on it, grease it up, and slap it back in here. So I don't have the same hardware, so I really hope that the Allen head things that I have will work. But all we're doing is we're going to be greasing the piss out of this thing using the Honda Urea grease, because this is like the only stuff people tell you to use on this. And okay, so it kind of has to go like that then, because this only goes in the transmission one way. Because I can see now that the shifter is kind of angled, and it is supposed to angle towards the driver, but this is the reverse lockout. So I don't know exactly what the difference is mechanically between these, but oh yeah, you can see the reverse lockout pin on this short shifter sits in a different spot, like it's lower. So I don't know, hopefully this fixes my problems, but hopefully it doesn't break. Okay. Yeah, that didn't go so well with the other one. It exploded in like 4 pieces. So this one, this does orientate a certain way. So there's a little tab here, this top line, you can see it's not on this side here. So this goes towards the front, and then the reverse lockout goes towards the passenger side. So this has to go just like that. And probably gonna have to take this to the vise to push it down. Okay, got it in there. So I'm gonna just kind of try and pack a little bit more of this grease up in there. Just extra slick. Like I said, I already greased this the other day, but I'm not confident that we used enough. So I'm gonna just run a whole bunch more up in here. Stuff is friggin' nasty. Ideally, this just drops right back in here with the spring. Just like that. Oop. Alright, so I finally got the shifter freaking in here, and that's how much it's supposed to go over for fifth. Like that's dead center neutral, that's fifth, and then that would be first over there, whereas before it was swinging way over here. I put it in the same way I was trying to do the other shifter. I think it's over there yet, but turns out that this is deceiving because OEM, like I said, has this bend. So I read on the forum post that the bend goes towards the driver's side, but that's not true. I had to go back and watch an LHT performance video like you guys were mentioning in the last 2 videos, and sure enough, I look at his and his was 180 of mine. So I took the main fulcrum pivot cup thingy off, spun it 180, so that way I could spin the shifter 180, and now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then down and reverse. So that's all we were going for this whole time. But I think this ring right here was the main issue, well, one of the main issues behind the shifter vibrating and rattling, so is what it is. But yeah, now I can put this back together and have a functioning normal shifter again, so I'm really stoked. So I don't know if I kind of feel a little dumb because of me installing the shifter incorrectly the first time. I don't know how I didn't catch that, or it didn't make sense to me. But again, I was just going off of what I read on the forums and all that stuff when, I don't know. Because on the factory service manual, I have the factory service manual, shout out Doge again, it doesn't really show you the orientation of that little thing. And in the picture, the shifter just looks like it's a straight rod. It doesn't look like it has that curve to it. So that's that's all good. I'm very, very happy that's fixed. I got a bunch of exhaust stuff on the way, so I can build an exhaust for this thing to make it have some noise. I'm in the market looking for some cheaper wheels right now. Eventually I'll get real wheels, but for now I'm just trying to look for some Rotas, some nice ones or something, because these stock wheels are a bit chewed up, curb rash, and ugly to me. I think they're just absolutely hideous. Yeah, other than that, I kind of want to go through the suspension. I want to double check like tie rods. I feel like it needs some tie rods. It just got aligned, but I'm getting like a slight clack in this wheel when I shake it like left to right, and there's no like, the only thing that I noticed is that the ball joint on the tie rod end kind of has just maybe a 1/16 inch of slop in it, and it's kind of sketched me out a little bit. I know it's not supposed to have that. Tie rods are cheap, so I'm probably going to order some. I did have to order engine mounts because I found out in the last video the engine mounts are torn. So yeah, I just ordered some Rock Auto ones for now. Ramon runs them. They're fine. Again, it's not full race car, it's daily driver with just a little bit of canyon fun here and there. But yeah, making progress. This thing's just about totally mint. But I did find out AP1 things. It does eat a little bit of oil. 12-hour drive home at 4,500 RPMs, plus a bunch of pulls since I've been back home the last week. So I had to add about a quarter of a quart. So rip, got to monitor that. But 4-cylinder things, high revving 4-cylinder things. The next piece that I need to make for the S2000, or the first piece I'm going to make technically, is just a little exhaust heat shield, because I don't want my AC lines and stuff that are right above it, or the fuse box cover that's right there, to get cooked, especially this summer. So I don't know why the factory one's missing. I guess there's normally 2 heat shields, but I'm just going to make a really, really simple like flat one. I don't think that there's much really I can add to it, but I just took measurements. I'm just kind of taking the base area that I need, and it's going to be 14 inches wide, or long, by 6 inches wide. So I got some flat stock. I got a bunch of scrap metal here, so I'm going to take some slightly thicker stuff. Probably this one. Yeah, I like that one. That's decently thick, because this one a little too thin for me. And just literally cut a square out, mark my hole spots, and that should be it. This should be okay. We'll kind of test fit it in the area, see how it fits in there, and then drill our holes if it fits. So, well, good thing that landed on the shock tower, not the paint. Yeah, we're literally just going like that. But I don't want to touch it. It's a little warm right now, but yeah, you get the idea. Got it slapped in there. I'm gonna weld on one of my little stamps or whatever, but that's what we're looking like. I got pretty lucky with the holes, and then you can see I kind of bent it down there, bent it around the header, and then I did so right down there. You can see it's really close, but it should function normally. I don't think it'll rattle on anything. I'm gonna take it off really quick, clean these bolts up so they're more silver looking instead of spray painted these odd colors, and then clean up the Sharpie off of there, tack weld my logo on there, and bolt it up, fire the engine up, see if it rattles. Hopefully it don't rattle. So we're gonna set this right in between the 2 bolt holes. So that way if you're ever looking in the bay, you'll be able to see it just fine. I'm just going to use a little bit of acetone to find my cut, apparently. Just to wipe off, that still burns, to wipe off my Sharpie marks. Just like that. Nice and clean. Okay. I kind of want to paint this, to be honest. I kind of want to use some sort of VHT, like high temp paint stuff, because I also want it to not radiate heat, and this will do a pretty good job of it. So I'm either gonna heat tape it or I'm gonna paint it. I'll have to figure it out. Probably gonna lean towards the heat tape though. And for anyone that might say, why are you DIYing parts for an S2000? Why not just spend the money? Because I can. Suck my ass, that's why. If I want to make parts for my own cars, I'll make parts for my own cars. Not everybody has to fall into the trap of buying name brand products when the non-name brand guy can make his own. But for real, what's the point in building a car if you're buying parts off the shelf from somebody else? Granted, this isn't a full-on build, but still. I can either buy an OEM heat shield if I can source one, or I can spend no money at all, make one for myself. That's what I did. And there's still gonna be people that cry about that. People just don't like that you make your own parts. I don't know why. Some people really respect it, some people really hate it. It never makes any sense to me. At least when it's functional, it doesn't matter really how it looks. I mean, this doesn't look bad, especially in the car, but like, why do you gotta hate? Just enjoy the content. Idled the car for a minute, gave it a couple quick revs. Doesn't rattle at all, looks good in there. So, mission accomplished. So, the shifter feels fantastic. Now this is a few days after that. My engine mount just came in from Rock Auto, so I'm just doing some basic stock replacements, nothing fancy. The factory ones have like a fluid dampening stuff. And if you don't know what I mean, let me show you. Because this is the old one. Obviously I'm kind of missing the top section since it's broken off, but that's what I mean. So this mount's completely trashed. And these ones are actually really easy to put in. So all I did was crawl into the car. There's two 17mm bolts that hold it to the bottom of the subframe. So these two long things, so the engine mount sits like that. And then this top bracket just bolts to the engine block. And it's really simple, but I just figured I'd film it and show you guys, yeah, I don't know, whatever. So all I have to do is take this top bolt off. Let's do that real quick. Okay. I do not believe these mounts are left and right labeled. No, these look identical. So we're just going to attach this piece. It does have a little, I don't know what you would call that, notch. And the mount itself has a little mark too. So we will just line that up like that. Oh, and then there's a little machined hole on here. So then we just line that up. Like that. And we'll zip this back on. Turn the torque down a little bit. Pretty easy to access right here. I just got the engine supported with the 2x4. Get our electric ratchet up here. No room. This side's a little bit tighter to get to, but still overall pretty simple. I should have done a before and after, but it's all put back together. I just dropped it down. Let's fire it up, see how much the engine rocks. I was able to see it a little bit through the windshield. Looked like that thing barely budged, so should be pretty solid. I didn't really have any noticeable issues, I guess. I mean, the car was a little jerky on and off throttle, but I don't know. It has the engine dampener thing on there, so I think that was almost like a band-aid from the last owner to hopefully try and cover up the busted motor mounts, but I don't know. 115, 120 bucks on Rock Auto. Should be fine for a while. Eventually I'll upgrade them to something better, but for now I don't need anything really stiff. I just need some stock replacement. So, success. That vacuum pump thing creeps me out. So it's been a few days since I did the engine mounts. Car feels good. Everything seems normal. But I've been busy working on the new bar, I guess. So this isn't anything crazy, but
I do have a bumper bar for a GD Honda Fit. I don't know what generation, second gen, I don't know, whatever. But Brian Hasty from Fast Brakes, if you are familiar with the company, he's local to me, and I'm friends with him. And I went by his shop one day to pick up something or drop something off for him because I went to the junkyard for him. He was like, "Oh, I got the bumper bar on the Fit. I saw you're making them for the DA. Is there anything you can make for the Fit?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." So he gave me his bumper bar. I do prefer to have the car here because I can only do so much with just the bumper bar because I don't know what I'm clearancing, stuff like that. But I just been working on that this morning because I've been putting it off for a few weeks now because I've been doing the DA bumper bars. I've been working on the Prelude. I've been working on a bunch of other like miscellaneous welding jobs that come here, like small cold air intakes or weld fixes, stuff like that. But just haven't had the time. I don't know. That's what I'm getting at. But I got this made up so far. So the only thing that I'm concerned about is there's this little screw hole, bolt hole thingy on top that I don't really know what it's for. And then, at least in his case, he has these little tabs mounted down here. These are definitely not stock. So those are particular to his setup. I think that might be what he mounts his intercooler to or something like that. But whatever. That's what I've been working on. Still waiting on parts for the S2000 to show up. We got a bunch of exhaust stuff on the way and then some wheels and tires. So trying to keep the money coming in now. That reminds me, I also wanted to just address really quick. A lot of you guys, not a lot of you guys, I shouldn't say that. A few of you guys have been getting upset because the way I talk about some of the work that I get. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for all the work that I get, but as being a little guy, especially a little guy trying to build my name, the part that sucks is I do get a lot of the work that other people don't want to do, and I always wonder why they don't take it on or why they quote so high. And then I quote low, I get the job, and then I get into it and realize, wow, I've kind of screwed myself on both time, labor, or material or something like that. And this Prelude is, as for now, because it's the car that's been here for a month when it shouldn't have been here for a month, has been my source of my most complaints because of stuff like that. And I just want it to be like, I don't know why some people get butthurt about me complaining about this type of stuff, because I've got a few YouTube comments, I've got a few Instagram messages like, "Oh, why are you complaining so much? Like, just be grateful." And it's like, don't get me wrong, I am grateful, but you guys gotta also see it from my point of view. If I'm in this to make money, I'm here to get the job done, I'm here to do my best job, and because of parts or something else that I'm not able to do my best job, that makes me feel really bad because I'm not trying to target the owner of these parts, the cars, whatever. I just want I want to show it to you guys that I'm not here to hide anything. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and be like, everything's smooth, my life goes perfect, because this is all day in my life. This is my whole YouTube channel is day by day of stuff that I do, my experiences and stuff like that. So I don't want to hide anything like that, but I also want to show you guys that these are the things that you might want to look out for if you're taking your vehicles to somebody, if you're bringing somebody like me or a fabricator or anything. If you're taking anything that you have that you need fixed, modified, painted, anything to anybody else, no matter what the trade be, just make sure you're doing it the right way. If you're dropping a car off to a shop, make sure you give them all the parts you need, and if they have to supply the parts, make sure you're compensating them, or they have to source the parts for you, make sure you're compensating them, giving them the heads up, the money for it, and stuff like that. For me, it's just hard to be kind of left in the dark on these jobs that I've been getting, and that's entirely my fault for taking these jobs on. But again, I appreciate the jobs. I'm just learning as I go about how to start quoting jobs in the future, what things to look out for in different jobs. So I apologize for making it sound so negative, but I leave those bits in there intentionally for you guys to either get a laugh at or to kind of think for yourselves whenever you go to do stuff like this. And then you got people like Sophie who just don't give a hoot. Yeah, she just don't give a hoot. Tires just showed up. Still waiting on the wheels though. I don't know when those are supposed to be delivered, but the tires only came from California, so these showed up in like 2 days. These are just the normal Federal 595 SS's, not the RSRR. So this one has a higher tread rating than what I'm normally running because for me, once you go 200, you never go back. But I wanted something with a little less grip so that way I could get a little bit better mileage out of it. These ones are rated roughly 15 to 20,000 miles depending on your driving style. But I also got them in a squared setup because I ordered my wheels in a squared setup. So that way I had the option to rotate them because, again, more the practical side of this car. Because even the factory setup is staggered, you can't rotate staggered. So we're squaring it up, we're just doing a little bit wider, we're doing 17 by 9s. I won't spoil it yet, so you guys are gonna have to wait until next video to know which wheels I bought. And I didn't get no Rotas, I almost did. I almost bought some Koenigs too, because Koenigs are happy medium between like name brand, off brand. Koenig is a name on its own, but oof, I'm so excited for the wheels, they're gonna look so nice. Getting them powder coated right off the bat too, so it's a little bit more money than I'm I've ever spent on something like that. I've never bought new wheels before. So since I am buying my first set of brand new wheels, I kind of wanted to go a little out, a little extra. But yeah, tires are here.